Hi, my name's Laura and I'm the therapist who's been running the sessions over the last few months. Now this week's video is going to be a little bit different. It's a selection of my favourite sections from the last 11 weeks, so hopefully there'll be something for everybody here. So welcome to everyone who has joined our previous sessions, and to those of you who are watching for the first time, it's good to have you with us. Now all of today's selection is suitable for people who are living with mild to moderate stage dementia. Elements of it will also be accessible to people who are living with dementia in its later stages, and I'll highlight which ones these are as we go along. Now first of all, we'll be doing some neck and shoulder exercises, then bringing back some memories from summer holidays, followed by some anagrams and a selection of classical music to finish. The session can be used alone, but it might be beneficial for it to be used with caregivers, friends or family members, so please do join us for this if you can. If you have any questions or require further information, then please type into the comments box below and we'll get back to you just as soon as we can. So if you've just joined us, today's selection might be particularly suitable for people who are living with mild to moderate dementia, although much of it will be suitable for people living with late stage dementia, and I'll highlight this as we go along. The session is also designed for caregivers and family members to participate in, but if that's not possible for you to be together just now, due to the current circumstances, then perhaps you could both watch the session separately and then talk about it later. So again, the session will begin with some neck and shoulder exercises, with memories of summer holidays to follow, then anagrams and a selection of film and classical music to finish. It might be best if you could sit in a straight-backed chair for the exercises, but most of them can be accomplished in whatever type of chair you're sitting in. Now the session can be paused and re-watched as many times as you need or wish to, so let's get started. So I thought we could begin with some exercises for our necks and shoulders. Doing exercises like this always makes me feel a bit better and helps to prepare me with whatever I need to do next. So these exercises are suitable for people who might be living with mild to moderate stage dementia. So let's try some exercises for our neck and shoulders. Now you might be spending a lot more time indoors than usual just now, as many of us are, and perhaps not moving around quite as much as we usually do. Now this might be causing you to experience some stiffness in your neck and shoulder areas. Now doing some exercises can really help to relieve that stiffness, as well as help to prevent it from developing in the first place. And doing exercise just also helps us feel a bit better in ourselves generally, as well as helping to boost our brain power, so it's well worth giving them a try. So I'm going to begin with some very gentle neck exercises before moving on to some more energetic exercises for our shoulders and upper backs. So the neck exercises should be done really gently. They shouldn't be forced at all, so please don't push yourself beyond what you feel you're able to do. So we'll begin by having our feet firmly on the floor, our hands on our laps, and then looking very slowly towards our left hand side. So turning our heads towards the left. Then we'll hold that for a few moments before moving our head slowly right the way round to our right hand side. So a really slow, gentle movement round to our right. Then we'll hold that for a few moments before bringing our head back round to centre. Then we'll slowly look up to the ceiling, hold that, and then bring our heads down, our chin towards our chest, and hold that for a few moments. And then bring our head back up to centre again. How was that? Was that okay? So we're going to do that again, but this time we're going to hold each position for the count of 5. So please do count aloud with me as we do this. So first we'll turn our head slowly to the left. And we're going to hold that for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then slowly right the way around to the right hand side. And again we'll hold that for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back to centre and then slowly look up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then slowly look down, chin towards our chest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then right back up to centre again. Very nice. So this time we're going to do some side stretches for our neck. Again, we're going to start with our left hand side, and we're going to bring our left ear towards our left shoulder. Okay, so just very slowly move your head so your left ear is moving towards your left shoulder. Hold that for a few moments. Then we'll bring our head right the way over so that our right ear is going towards our right shoulder. Again, hold that. And then right up to centre. There we go. So we're going to do that another 2 or 3 times, and this time we're going to hold each position for the count of 5. Okay, so left ear towards left shoulder, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And right the way over to the other side, right ear towards the right shoulder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And right the way over to the other side again, left ear to left shoulder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then right the way over to the right hand side again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back up to centre. Very nice. So now we're going to do some exercises for the shoulder and upper back area. So if you bring your hands in front of your chest in prayer position like this, and then as you breathe in, push your hands all the way up to the ceiling. And then as you breathe out, bring your arms down with your palms facing forward and bring your hands back to your lap. Let me try that again. So bring your hands in front of your chest in prayer position and then push your palms all the way up. And then as you bring your arms down, your palms should be facing forward and bring your hands back to your lap. Okay, so we're going to try doing that a few more times. We'll do it to music this time. So I've picked the Twist by Chubby Checker. All right, so hands in front of your chest, are you ready? Here we go. So 1, palms up, right the way above your head, down, palms facing forward. Palms in prayer position again. And 2, right the way up. And then down, palms facing forward. Palms in prayer position again, and 3, all the way up. And down, palms facing forward. 4. And down. Let's do one more. 5. And down. This time we're going to do almost the reverse of this, okay? So have your fingers spread wide. You're going to bring your hands above your head and clap and down. Let's try that again. So fingers spread wide, bring your arms up in a big circle above your head and clap and down. Okay, let's try that a few times. Here we go. And up, clap, and down. And up, clap, and down. One more time, up, clap, and down. Very nice. Now we're going to do a few exercises now to stretch our chest and shoulders and neck, okay? So as you breathe in, lift your ribs. Put your hands behind your head and then stretch all the way back. Stretch your neck and head and your shoulders back. Then bring your hands back down to your lap again. Let's try that again. So lift your ribs and breathe in. Put your hands behind your head and stretch all the way back. And then breathe out as you bring your hands back down to your knees again. Let's do that one more time. So breathe in, chest up, hands behind your head, stretch all the way back and down. Very nice. Well, thank you for joining me for these neck and shoulder exercises. I hope you enjoyed taking part in these today. I enjoyed doing them. If you were able to join in these exercises with me, I hope you can feel the benefit. Now, the next section I've chosen might be a trip down memory lane for some of you. It's a film about holidays by the sea, in this case, Brighton. Now, I chose this clip as I have really fond memories myself of beachside holidays when I was young. This section is suitable for people living with dementia in all stages. There is so much to look at. I hope you enjoy watching it. So let's think about some holidays that we might have had by the sea. So holidays at the seaside were really popular in Great Britain in the 1950s and 60s. By this time, most British workers had at least 2 weeks paid holiday per year, and millions of people went to the beach for their holidays every year. In fact, even by 1975, 40 million people visited the towns on the British coast for a break. Where people chose to go often depended largely on where they lived. So if you lived in the north, you might have gone to Blackpool or Morecambe, and if you lived further south, you might have chosen Brighton or Margate. Did you ever visit the seaside? Where did you go? And if you did go, where did you stay? Some people stayed with friends or rented a house, maybe a bed and breakfast or hotel, and holiday camps like Butlins or Pontins were also really popular. We used to go to Blackpool on holiday when I was little, and we visited all the attractions there, but today we'll be visiting Brighton. So Brighton Beach is famous for being really rocky, so there perhaps weren't too many sandcastles being built there, but there were plenty of other things to do. So families could relax on rented deck chairs, or maybe shelter behind windbreaks in between going for a swim or paddle in the sea. There were beach huts, which you could also rent for a day or longer, and these came in really handy for getting changed out of your swimming costume, as well as from hiding from the rain if a shower came on. There were donkey rides for the children, and if you were hungry, you could have fish and chips, or maybe some cockles and whelks and candy floss. Now, people could take walks up and down the promenade at Brighton and perhaps go and see what was happening on Brighton's famous Palace Pier. So this is still Brighton's most popular tourist attraction, and right up until 2015, it was still receiving over 4 million visitors a year. It was the third pier in Brighton to be built, and it was completed 121 years ago in 1899. It's over 1,700 feet long, and that's the equivalent of 65 double-decker buses. It was closed during the Second World War to prevent enemy troops from using it as a landing point. Now, when this pier was built, its main aim was for it to be used as a place for pleasure, and a music hall was added in 1911 and played host to all manner of stars, including Stan Laurel from the comedy duo Laurel and Hardy, and also Charlie Chaplin played there at the very beginning of his career. So basically all the popular entertainers of the day would play on the pier, and many famous historical visitors have been known to take a walk there, including Greta Garbo, Winston Churchill and Grace Kelly. Okay, so the final stop on our tour is at the iconic Brighton Pavilion, also known as the Royal Pavilion. So the building of the pavilion began in 1787, and it was to be used as a seaside retreat for the future King George IV. It was built in the style which became very popular in India and continued to be so for most of the following century. Now, the king enjoyed all of the entertainment that was on offer in Brighton and was also told that the fresh air and seawater would be beneficial for his health. Later on, when Queen Victoria was the monarch, she sold the pavilion to the town, as Brighton was becoming a very popular tourist destination, even in the 1840s, and she didn't like the lack of privacy that the crowds brought. So another key point in the pavilion's history came during the First World War, when it was transformed into a military hospital for soldiers from the Indian Corps. It had 720 beds and over 2,000 men were treated at the hospital there. The soldiers came from many different backgrounds and there were 9 different kitchens in the grounds to help cater for people's different cultural and religious needs. By 1860, the stables at the pavilion were converted into a concert hall, which is now known as the Brighton Dome, and it is still used as a concert venue today. Have you ever been to a concert at the Dome? And the beautiful gardens at the pavilion continue to be a big draw for visitors. They have a wide variety of plants there, which are maintained by the council and the volunteers, and it's done completely organically. In the summer, the garden is often used by street entertainers, so the crowds have plenty to hear and see as they walk round the gardens. So the glory days of the British seaside holiday sadly came to an end with the arrival of cheap package tour holidays abroad. But it's good to know that places by the sea, like Brighton, continue to be popular and still attract many visitors to enjoy everything that they have to offer. I hope that you enjoyed our trip around Brighton today. Now this next clip is a language-based puzzle based on anagrams. This is mainly aimed at people who are living with mild to moderate stage dementia, but there is plenty in it for people who are living with dementia in its later stages also to enjoy. There are some really great animations in this one. Let's have a look. So let's try some anagrams. So an anagram is a word that's made by rearranging the letters of another word, and we'll have some clues to help us to work out what this new word should be. So we'll start with some shorter ones, and they'll become increasingly longer and more challenging as we go along. So let's have a look at this first one for an example. So this word spells act. And the clue is that it's a very popular pet in the UK. So how can we rearrange the letters of the word act to spell out a very popular type of pet in Britain? Oh, and I think we've got another clue here. So did you get it? So we can rearrange the letters of the word act to spell cat. So let's have a look at another one. So this word spells R. And the first clue is that all animals have 2 of them. So how can we rearrange the letters of the word R to spell something that all animals have 2 of? What do you think? So another clue might be that we use these for listening. So all animals have 2 of them and we use them for listening. So did you get it? So we can rearrange the word R to become ear. All right, let's have a look at number 3. So this word spells taboo. Okay, taboo. And the first clue is that this is a type of musical instrument. So how can we rearrange the letters of the word taboo to spell a type of musical instrument? Oh, and we've got another clue. So what do you think? Well, the answer is tuba. So the letters of taboo can be rearranged to spell tuba. Did you get it? Okay, so on to number 4, and this time we've got the word posh. So we've got a 4-letter anagram, the word posh. And how can we rearrange these letters to spell something where we go to buy things? Now lots of these are closed at the moment. What do you think? Posh, where we go to buy things. That's it, so posh can be rearranged to become shop. All right, number 5. So this time we've got a 5-letter anagram and the word is break. We've got a picture clue for this one. Now I really love all of the things in this picture, so we've got plenty of bread and cakes here. So how can we rearrange the letters of the word break to spell something to do with all of these bread and cakes? Perhaps it could be something to do with the person who's responsible for making the bread and cakes. Do you know? That's it, break becomes baker. All right, on to number 6. Now this is a 6-letter anagram and the word is looped. And this is another very popular type of pet in the UK. So what do you think? Can you rearrange the letters of the word looped to spell a type of pet? Oh, and I think we've got another clue here. So did you hear it? So this kind of pet is also known for its very fancy grooming sometimes at shows. What do you think? That's it, so looped could be rearranged to spell poodle, and I really love those dogs, they're one of my favourite types. Alright, so on to the last one, number 7. This is another 6-letter anagram, and it spells rains. Rains. And the clue this time is that Frank Sinatra was one. So what do you think? How can we rearrange the letters of the word rain to spell something that Frank Sinatra was? Now Elvis Presley was a very famous one of these as well. So what do you think? That's it. So rains can be rearranged to become singer. I'm leaving today. So I really hope you enjoyed doing all of these different anagrams with me. Thank you so much for joining me for this. How did you get on? Some of the animations in that really made me smile. Okay, for the last clip, I've picked the classical music section. We'll look at a range of different classical music in this one, and the music is accompanied by some great film and TV clips, which I hope you enjoy watching. Again, this section is suitable for people who are living with dementia at all stages. Let's have a listen. Let's listen to some famous pieces of classical music together. Now, we can all listen to music in different kinds of ways. Sometimes we just listen to be entertained, and sometimes we listen to try and change the way that we feel. So we might listen to music to help us relax after a busy day, or to cheer ourselves up if we're feeling a bit down. And sometimes we listen to music to help us to express how we're feeling right now. So we might put on something really energetic and uplifting if we want to celebrate something. Now, classical music has long been used as a way of expressing emotion, as well as being a beautiful art form in its own right. And music is also really closely tied to so many of the memories that we have, that often specific pieces of music will help jog specific memories that we have. So let's listen to some famous pieces of classical music together. As you're listening, think about how the music makes you feel, whether it reminds you of anything, and see if you can identify the composer or the name of the piece of music itself. Let's have a listen. So how did this piece of music make you feel? To me, it felt really cheerful and energetic. And did it remind you of anything? Well, it reminds me of an old friend who said that this was their favourite piece of classical music. Did you recognise it? Well, it was written by Mozart and it's known as a Little Night Music. And it's been used in several film soundtracks, including the film that was made in 1984 about Mozart himself, Amadeus. Let's have a listen to this next piece of music. It's just as famous, but quite different in tone. See what you think. Did you recognise it? Well, this one was composed by Beethoven and it's a Symphony No. 5 in C minor. Now it felt very dramatic and almost frantic sounding to me. How did it make you feel? Now Beethoven wrote this piece of music at a real time of personal turmoil for him. He was losing his hearing, as well as there had been real global turmoil with war in Europe. And these four famous opening chords, well, critics thought they might have represented fate coming knocking at the door. But who really knows? What do you think? Let's have a listen to this next piece of music. Did you recognise that one? Well, it's known as the Blue Danube and it was written by Johann Strauss. How did it make you feel? It seemed really uplifting to me, and because of that 3/4 waltz time, it really made me want to get up and move and dance. Now it's become an almost unofficial anthem for Austria because of its strong association with the Viennese waltz. And it was also used famously in the film 2001 by Stanley Kubrick. Let's have a listen to this next piece of music. Now, what about that piece of music? Did it remind you of anything? It takes me right back to when Torval and Dean danced and iced it at the Winter Olympics in 1984. With its driving rhythm, it inspires movement as well, I think, and it's got a really beautiful melody which becomes more and more dramatic as the piece goes on. So it's called Bolero and it's by Ravel. Let's finish with this next piece of music. Now, what about that one? That was the Overture from William Tell by Rossini. And this is such a famous, energetic and almost galloping piece of music. Can you remember where you first heard it? Many people around the world heard it for the first time when it was used as the theme music for The Lone Ranger. Well, I hope you enjoyed listening to these excerpts of classical music and thinking about these famous pieces of music and how they make you feel and what they make you remember. I hope you enjoyed listening to the music and seeing all the accompanying films. I really love the Roy Rogers theme at the end. Thank you so much for joining me for this collection of my favourite parts from the last 11 weeks. At Care Visions, it's important to us to keep on improving and to find out how we can provide a better experience for you all. We'd really appreciate it if you could please take a couple of minutes to provide some feedback through our feedback survey. The link for this is in the comments box below. We'll be uploading new sessions on a regular basis, so please do keep checking our website to see the latest information. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. We look forward to connecting with you again next time. Take care and stay safe.